Are we live?
We're good.
All right, it's 2:45. We'll call the Drainage Board meeting to order. First up on our agenda is the minutes from our prior month meeting.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Any abstentions? Unanimous. Next up, we have the surveyor's report.
Pretty short this week. Beaver Dam, we talked about, Hatfield, Charlie went with those, didn't find anything. Chess is working on the cornerstone ties, putting them into GIS. Sean from GIS is trying to get his data to come down to help her figure out how to upload those documents here correctly and so forth. And so that's going the way we want it to. We discussed some trees over the ditch on Duplo Drain, Richland, on Matt Evans' property. We looked at it, nothing is impeding the water flow, so we'll work on that this fall. Because after the crops get out, we want to take care of that. That'll be a low ticket item, about like we did up with Lamar. Keating's gonna take a couple trees out there for us. Then Duffman Ditch, we discussed last month from 200 west and 200 north, going northwest. There's about 8 landowners on there on that drain that this affects. So we're working with Andrew Gold from ISDA to figure out how to make that ditch a 2-stage ditch like they did at J.B. Grissom, east of L231 on Terry Price a few years ago. Kirby Youngblood did that. So I think that's the best option for this drain. So we're gonna try to we gotta go through a lot of information, figure out what all we need to do. I have to be engineered, which NRCS will take care of that. NRCS actually funded that ditch at Christie. So I know this one's a lot bigger. We'd like to work from 200 west and just south of 200 north. We'd like to start there and go up to 400 north. So it's roughly 13,000, just shy of 13,400 clearing feet. But there's quite a bit of clearing between 200 north and 300 north. So I'm sure that part will be expensive. And then from 300 on up, there's not many trees to clear out at all. So that mainly just be dipping the ditch out. And if we can get this 2-stage ditch to go through, I think that would be the best alternative.
What would
There's a lot of water through there.
What would a holdup be to this 2-stage ditch? Would it just be a money thing, or is there a certain type of elevation that's an issue?
So
or?
basically, you have the rated ditch in the bottom, and then it comes up so many feet, whatever the engineered spec is, and then it's almost got like a plateau, and then it goes on up. So the majority of the water stays in the bottom, but whenever you have high water,
You have to wash out bad.
you're able to contain water on that second level, so it just does a lot more, helps with erosion and so forth.
Is there any indication that a 2-stage ditch would not be possible?
I don't see why it would be, but again, we've got to go through the proper channels and make sure everybody's okay with this. So, which if NRCS will fund this one, or fund a portion of it like they did at J.B. Grissom, then that'll work out very well. I think it'll be expensive period to clear it. Like we've got 83,000 some change in that watershed.
Yeah.
So, anyways, and then that'll be maintenance too. So, we figured there's 7 or 8 landowners immediate on either side of that ditch. And then obviously everything else adjacent to that flows in there as well. So, that's about all we got.
Are there any questions regarding the surveyor's report?
Nope.
Any old business? Hearing none. Any new business?
New business, we had some discussion on your truck.
I'm not gonna drive it very often, so if there's somebody else in the courthouse, the building inspector, the health department, whoever that can benefit more from that, I would say move it to them, if that can happen.
Okay, do we need to make a motion on that?
Yeah, if you're wanting to reallocate that to a different department, I'd say, yeah.
I will make a motion to reallocate the surveyor's truck to the building inspector.
All right, there's a motion on the table to reallocate the surveyor's truck and its use to the building inspector. Is there a second?
Can we, have it to where other departments can use the truck, or are you asking that it be this person's everyday vehicle? Because it's not every day that the inspector needs to go technically inspect something. That's just my thoughts. And then there's other departments, like the assessor's department, who occasionally needs to utilize a vehicle. We could, allow it to be in that said capacity.
Yeah, before we reallocate it, I'd like to see, maybe get with Mindy, see what our insurance is on it, and then look and see what we're paying on mileage inside those departments, because, I mean, now the building inspector's doing septics plus building inspection, he's racking up a lot of miles.
Yes.
I just wanna I would wanna double check that it makes sense to take the use and send it over there, or if that inflates a budget, then some kind of shared use, whatever that would look like. So, those are my,
So what you're
those are my
saying
thoughts.
is see what it's costing to have,
Well, like,
this
so what
said
do we do
vehicle.
for maintenance?
I think it all goes to insurance.
Typically it does. There's 1,500 in the account and hasn't been touched this year because Tyler's not using it.
Yeah, there's extras right at the
And then what about gas?
Well, that comes through the county.
Yeah.
You'll get that at the highway garage.
Yeah, it's
Right, Dale?
also budgeted in at 2,000, I think, but again, Tyler hasn't touched it, so.
Was that 1,500 budgeted, or is that
Yeah,
just
it's
what's in
budgeted.
there? That 1,500
Yeah,
budgeted, 2,000
The maintenance and the
budgeted?
gas are both budgeted.
Okay. Well, do you happen to know what we're paying on insurance?
I have no idea.
Okay.
So basically,
I just
in
don't,
my opinion, one place should have control over it, just basically for the insurance and to keep gas mileage track and all that. If you put it out and am I opposed of other people using the truck? No, but I think that can be worked out through whenever the time comes with the assessor. I think the health department ought to just have it. Actually, it could be, with the saying it's building inspector, it could be under our control, under commissioner's budget.
I'm not opposed with what you're saying. I just
See,
would
with
like
it being
to,
under our control, then with it being under commissioner budget, then when somebody else needs it, the commissioners can say, hey, you're gonna take that.
I just, for what I do, it's just not, it's not practical for me to go back and get in that truck, go do everything, and then go back to ties the blood on those. And honestly, I'm probably.
no, I like your
Generally, so if I,
thoughts.
if I,
And I don't disagree with what
if I
you're
have,
saying in regards to it be for the building inspector to utilize.
if I have trips, I won't have that many miles during the year. So.
I just wanna make sure that we can put that out there for other departments, because we've just had that used in the past. So
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
if you put it under the building inspector, then we can.
I think that's an excellent idea. So with his motion to put the truck under the building inspector, I second it.
Okay, so motion on the table to reallocate the surveyor's truck to the position under the building inspector, which is under the supervision of the county commissioners. The motion was from Jim, second from Heather. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Unanimous. All right, any other new business?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, 2:55.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That was a fast one. Usually we're cutting it close to 2:59.
Good job, Mr. Chairman.